Alright, welcome back. Evidently Adobe was updated on my computer. We are in Unit 2 now. That's good. One down, 7 more to go. We are to the linear equation and inequality part. So we're going to be solving equations in this unit. So for the next several days, that's what we're going to be doing. My computer is still acting up. Okay. Still. Lesson 1, we're going to be solving linear equations. Now, just so we know what everything is. Linear equation, any equation that includes constants and variables, often multiplied by coefficients. Also, a helpful hint here is the word line is in that word. It means all these are lines. Has to be a line. Now remember, to solve an equation, you always undo the operation on both sides of the equation. It looks like plus, do its opposite, subtract. Now, for example, I'm going to just walk you through this first example. If you were given this equation, 2x minus 12 equal to 10. Now remember, the thing with the x is the very last thing we deal with. So our first step we've got to do here is get rid of this negative 12. Now to get rid of the negative 12, you're going to add to both sides. So we add the 12 here, and we're going to add the 12 there. When we simplify, this negative 12 and positive 12 will go away, so we're left with just 2x on the left side. 10 plus 12, it gives you 22. Now to get x by itself, remember this reads like 2 times x. So to get rid of the 2 here, you've got to divide both sides out. Divide both sides by 2 there. There we go. Those 2's cancel. The x is going to drop down. 22 divided by 2 gives you 11. So x is equal to 11. Another way you can always go back and check, make sure you've done things right. Plug 11 back in place of x, make sure it makes sense. 2 times 11, 22 minus 12, make sure it gives you 10. If you've done that, and it all works, 99.9% chance you're right, unless you just have bad and dumb luck. So that's what we do. We're going to do 2 examples here. And example number 1. What value of x makes the equation below true? We have 3x plus 1 equal to negative 23. 3x plus 1 equal to negative 23. There are 4 choices. A, negative 8. B is 6. C is negative 6. D is 8. Alright, we're just going to do the work here on the slides because this is something I can type in here. Remember, the thing with the x is the last thing we do. First step, get rid of my plus 1 here. Plus 1. I'm going to subtract 1 here on both sides. Alright. So I am left with 3x. This plus 1 minus 1 has gone away. And I'm going to be left with equal to negative 23 and another negative 1. If they're both negative, just add them together, gives you negative 24. The cursor. Now, to get rid of this thing here, get x by itself, we're going to divide both sides by 3. Alright, so when we do that, 3's cancel, like so. The x is going to drop down, equals drops down. Don't forget about your signs. Negative 24 divided by 3 gives me negative 8. So obviously the one that makes the most sense here, which is A. You guessed A. You're right. Now, a helpful hint for multiple choice problems on anything you're going to do in here or any other math class. If you have no clue how to solve it and they give you a choice like this, go back in and plug in. Do some backward substitution. So if you plug in negative 8 in place of x, does it work? Well, obviously, no, it does. Try them out. One of them's got to work. So just a nice little helpful hint come test time. Other things in this class, other things in other math classes. Go back in, go backwards if you don't know for sure how to solve these problems. Hopefully you do, though. That's example 1. We got one more thing to cover here today. We got example number 2. What example number 2 says, what value of x makes this equation below true? 4x minus this quantity, 3x minus 5, and it's equal to 2x plus 11. A few things we got to do there. Kind of some direction here on the right, and we'll solve this here in a minute. or less. Alright, our 4x is going to drop down. Now here's where we've got to watch ourselves. When we have this negative sign here, make sure you distribute it all the way through. This is minus 3x. We've also got this. Remember, this negative is going to go all the way through. So it's negative times negative 5, which is going to switch your sign to positive 5. Still equal to what's on the right. We haven't done anything with that yet. I'm going to combine some like terms on the left. 4x minus 3x is going to give me a single x plus 5 is equal to 2x plus 11. Some options of what to do. I'm going to move all my x's to the right side because I like x to be positive. So do this. I'm going to subtract x on both sides. So I'm left with this 5. 2x minus 1x is x plus 11. Then to get x by itself, I'm going to subtract 11 here. And then our last step here, so you can see this, is going to give me negative 6. 5 minus 11 is negative 6. Alright, so x would be equal to negative 6. Now, if you get to this step right here and move it the other way, let's suppose we wanted to move my x's to the left just because that's habit. So in this case, we would subtract 2x out of there. And then I'm left with this. I'm left with negative x plus 5. Okay. My x's now would be gone over here, and I'm left with 11. And then to move things out of here, I move out my 5. And then I have this. Then my next answer would be this. I would have a negative x equal to 6. And then you have to get rid of your negative sign. You're still going to have to flip everything, and you're going to still end up with x equal to negative 6. So if you get to this step, you would have to divide out the negative or multiply it out. Either way would actually work. A little more work, a little more steps, maybe 1 or 2 more steps. Try to always get x to be positive. So that's what we're looking to do. Just get these equations, solve for x or whatever variable you happen to have. When you get to your assignment tomorrow, there are some other things in there, some explanations, explain how you did some steps, why that answer is not reasonable, so you kind of have to explain in your own words. There's a couple little story problems in there, and again, if you go get completely stuck on that, that's where you need to go, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. Alright, that's it for day 1 of this unit, and we have more stuff coming up. I'm sure you're delighted by that, but we will see you tomorrow.